What's going on, everybody? My name's Hussein the Brain. You're watching The Couch, and these are my rankings for Week 3. Let's start off with the quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson, right? You drafted him at the end of round 2, maybe early round 3. Some people drafted him actually early round 2, and it just hasn't panned out. He's done basically nothing to return that value. Finally, he faces the Chiefs. This could be the two best teams in the league. Let's say they're both at least top 5. Both Super Bowl ready, both looking extra sharp this year. And it's going to be a close game. I'm leaning more towards a shootout than a defensive battle because you got these two MVPs here, Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. We'll finally see something. Lamar Jackson will have to do something for the Ravens to win this game, and I gotta rank him number 1. The reason Lamar hasn't been doing great as far as fantasy is because the defense is completely taken over. Now we got a matchup where it's not going to be a cakewalk for the defense. By the way, if it's not clear, Ravens versus Chiefs, it's in Baltimore Monday night. That's going to be one heck of a Monday night game. Kyler Murray, another guy's playing like MVP. This is going to be a game where so many people can score fantasy points. I'm pretty sure the Cardinals will win by a big margin, but so many fantasy points are available in this game. I'm talking about Galladay, Kyler. I'm talking about Hopkins, of course. And we'll talk about the running backs on the next tab here. These are the quarterbacks here. Russell Wilson, my number 1 guy as far as the MVP race goes. He's finally throwing the ball. The coaches are like, look, we have an MVP caliber quarterback. Could be the best quarterback in the league. Let's let him throw it a little bit. And the efficiency is still there. Now, and he's throwing more volume, and the deep balls are still there. He's just throwing more, and this is kind of what we expected as fans. Like, let the man throw the ball more. He's really good. I guess there was a question mark, will he get a little bit worse with the volume? And the answer is definitely not. He torched the Patriots' defense, their secondary. And that kind of was a good test, a way to prove that, yeah, he can do it if the team passes more. Probably no longer a run-heavy team like they were the past couple of years. Speaking of MVP, we got Cam Newton here. Oh, man, how could you bench this guy going against the Raiders? Look, that Raiders-Saints game was a bit weird. Vegas knew what was up. We didn't know what was up, but this is not going to be the Raiders every week. The Patriots are at home. Derek Carr is playing on the East Coast. It's going to be a different story here. It's not going to be the Raiders we saw in week 2 that are going to be that dominant. Not saying the Raiders don't have a shot or anything, just saying that their defense isn't that good, and Cam is that good. I wouldn't be too scared starting Mahomes against the Ravens. I've pretty much been saying this every time these teams have faced. I don't know. At least once. Have they faced more than one? Is this their second time or third time face? I don't know. Mahomes versus Lamar. But definitely last year I was like, look, don't worry about Mahomes. And he was just fine. Mahomes is matchup proof. He'll be good. This is going to be a showdown, like I said. Dak Prescott, he's been playing out of his mind in terms of fantasy points. But I just don't like him as much as these other guys. So I moved him down a couple spots. Josh Allen. I think this is a combination of two storylines with Josh Allen. Is he better? Is he more accurate? Is he a good quarterback? Yes. But also, he has faced some weak defenses, and have they been cake? I'd say they've been easy, and he just hasn't been quite tested yet. Now, the Rams' defense is good. I don't think they're great, but they're at least a good team. And this is the first test he's going to get. So just a little bit reluctant with putting Josh Allen in the top 5 or top 3. Now that he has Stephon Diggs, though, He is much better. We've seen him, guys. Like, he's way more accurate. Diggs really opens up so much, because you got Diggs on one side, you got John Brown on the other side, you got Cole Beasley, who's wide open on a lot of plays. You got 2 running backs back there now. The team is taking a huge leap forward. They did have to pay a lot to go get Diggs, so yeah, they sacrificed a little bit of the future as far as young players goes. But as far as now, getting guys like Zach Moss, getting guys like Diggs, huge improvement for this team in 2020. I think that's so obvious. And Josh Allen is still young, and he's improving. He has improved, and we've seen it. I'm glad I got Josh Allen in a few leagues, and I target him. Good value pick. Matthew Stafford, his numbers mediocre, consistent. He's not going to really lose you too many fantasy matchups. That's how he's looking like. And he definitely hasn't won any fantasy matchups for you. But this is the week where they're going to air it out. Kenny Galladay's expected to play. Matthew Stafford, if you're in a deep league or for some reason you drafted Stafford as your QB1, which actually wasn't too dumb because you did that before you knew about Galladay, right? And Stafford hasn't been that bad. He's been putting up about 17 fantasy points a game in my leagues. Maybe it's going to be around 15 fantasy points for you because of the touchdown. I don't know. A lot of my leagues are 6-point passing touchdowns. So, yeah, he's getting you about 17 fantasy points a game. That's okay. That's good. I think he'll do more, though, against the Cardinals. Like I said, Kenny Galladay expected to play. Big Ben's playing great. Matt Ryan, I have ranked a little bit lower than the consensus here. And, oh boy, it's not that the matchup is horrible. It's just that he might take a small step down. And Julio's hamstring injury is more severe than we were thought to be. I'm recording this on Thursday. Julio Jones didn't practice today. Mike Thomas didn't practice today. Juju Smith-Schuster didn't practice today. Don't think A.J. Brown practiced today. And that's a big deal because either Julio's going to be a decoy, he's going to get attention, he's going to draw the best corner. All those are very realistic scenarios, which really opens up the field for guys like Gage and guys like Calvin Ridley, sometimes even Hurst. So, yeah, that's why I'm ranking him a couple spots lower. I think the Bears have a good shot of winning this game. Oh my God, Trubisky. He's racking up some wins here. Carson Wentz, gosh. Doesn't this guy suck? Oh man, I don't know how we just can't trust him, right? Like, he's not a guy that I would suggest dropping, but he's a guy we can't trust. And Aaron Rodgers, I'm gonna move him up a bunch of spots. I'll move him up right here once we know that Adams is playing. If Adams doesn't play, I like him right here at 14. If Devontae Adams does play, I have to move him up some spots. So that's a bit scary right there. We keep tabs on Devontae Adams. Okay. Yeah, Deshaun Watson, a guy you just can't trust against Steelers D. Probably best defense in the league. Can't really trust you. Can't trust Drew Brees without Mike Thomas. But Drew Brees is at home. Keep that in mind. I think that Raiders-Saints game is a little bit of an anomaly. Derek Carr at home, good. Raiders at home, good. Saints on the road, not good. Saints, Drew Brees on the road, not too good. Especially that one pick he threw just killed the team. I think they had a good chance of winning it if he didn't throw that really dumb pick. Yeah. And, yeah, Trubisky, could be MVP, right, guys? All right, let's go to running backs. A couple guys I really wanted to talk about here. And Kamara and Zeke are really interchangeable. I think Kamara is just such on fire that even if it's half PPR, maybe even non-PPR, I'd still rank him ahead of Zeke. That's how fire I think Kamara is. And Jonathan Taylor, oh my God, absolute must start. Who do we love on the Colts this week? I love Colts defense. I love Jonathan Taylor. And I love Rodrigo Blankenship, the rookie kicker with glasses. Love those three guys. even T.Y. Hilton is a great spot start. Not a lot of trust in Hilton, but he should be fine against the Jets. If you have Hilton, you probably want to start him. Like, really, it's like, if you have Hilton, if you drafted him, I mean, like, won't you just want to drop this guy? If you're not starting him week 3, with the absolute sexiest matchup with Paris Campbell out, I mean, what are we doing here? So if you whatever, if you don't like Hilton after he has a good game, this would be a great time to trade Hilton away right after this game. A matter of fact, trade him away after week 4. Just hope that even though you got a 33% chance T.Y. Hilton balls out week 3 and week 4, still take that risk. Hopefully he does well 2 games. Boom, trade him away. Get a good piece. You'll have this done right before the bye weeks hit. Oh my God, that sounds like a good move. And damn, man, look at these running backs all over the place. Yeah, I still believe in Derrick Henry, one of my great buy low candidates, and I believe in Kenyon Drake. Now, this is the matchup right here against the Lions. They're 29. They allow the 4th most points. Fourth most points against the running back position in fantasy. And Kenyon Drake, guys, has got over 100 offensive snaps. And I'm counting the snap count still, but it seems like that's the most by far out of any running back. And I'm sorry, I'm still counting those snap counts, but I don't think anyone is even close to getting over 100 snaps as far as running backs goes on offense. And so, yeah, this guy's getting so many snaps, he's getting so many opportunities. Unless you really expect Kyler Murray to get like 18 rushing touchdowns, someone else is going to have to score those rushing touchdowns. And I think that's Kenyon Drake. And still, yeah, Kyler Murray could still get us, 15, 20 rushing touchdowns. It's still very likely. But at some point, Drake's going to have to score some of those. And I think this is the week that happens. Nonetheless, he's in so many snaps that eventually he's going to get you those fantasy points. I love him as a buy low option. Sanders, this is the game script. This is the matchup for Miles Sanders. He had a good game week 2 in his debut this year, and man, he's playing the Bengals. Enough said right there. Dalvin Cook, why have him ranked so low? I do actually believe in Cook now that the season started, but I was kind of right about the Vikings team. They're a mess right now, and they're not looking like they're going to get things together. They eventually might, but I'd say it's probably not going to be this week. And because of that, that's going to affect the whole team. That's going to affect Dalvin Cook. The Titans' defense is not good. They do have some good pieces. I think they're good enough to be able to stop the Vikings, though. The Vikings will probably be playing from behind and get whooped this game, and that's a lot of worry for a guy like Dalvin Cook. Matter of fact, how can we put Jacobs that low? Jacobs is an absolute stud in fantasy, and a guy got ranked 9 spots ahead of the consensus right here. James Robinson, absolute must start of the week is James Robinson. Of course, Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor is bigger name and he's much more popular. And James Robinson's playing on national TV, guys. And I think so. Right now, as I'm recording this, he's kind of a buy low option. And after Thursday Night Football, after he balls out, I think he's going to be a sell high option because Rock Armstead is going to come back. I'm not too scared of Rock Armstead. I say about a 9% chance, maybe 10%. Let's say 9.5% chance that Rock Armstead is going to steal a bunch of snaps and carries from James Robinson. So it's pretty unlikely. But just because of that chance and just... and I'm expecting James Robinson to go ham and absolutely ball out this Thursday Night Football game. I think that's enough to trade him away. So he balls out. You like, look, this guy's great. He's a workhorse. He did it 3 weeks in a row. The Jags are on fire. Minshew mania. I'm selling high on James Robinson. Boom, you can go get you, a stud wide receiver or another running back. Who knows? Maybe you trade James Robinson for Austin Eckler, and I think in PPR, that's a great trade. Yeah, speaking of Austin Eckler, Joshua Kelly is taking away a lot of snaps here. I'm still starting Clyde Edwards-Helaire against the Ravens, but I don't absolutely love it. Like, I like Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm starting him, but the matchup is tough. So temper expectations. He's fringe RB1, but definitely start worthy for sure. Let's see. I got Aaron Jones ranked lower. I think the Saints defense will be better, but I don't know. I think they'll be much better. I think they got it in them to stop the Packers, but I could be dead wrong about this one, just like I was last week. Oh boy, it could be really bad. Okay, Nick Chubb going against a tough front seven. So is Kareem Hunt. Oh, there we go. Jerick McKinnon. This is one that I could be totally wrong about, and it's very risky. But with his upside, and we all play PPR, half PPR. So with his upside, you got to try to put him in your starting lineup. If you're in a 10-team league, that's a question. But if you're in a 12-team league or deeper, you got to try to put this guy in your starting lineup. Tevin Coleman out. Raheem Mostert out. The mustard. You got to start Jerick McKinnon. Maybe Jeff Wilson outscores him. I don't think so. Maybe he doesn't get a lot of snaps. Maybe he's only in 34% of snaps. Still, with that being said, he has big play potential. He can catch the ball. He's amazing. He's on the Niners. Great blocking team. George Kittle could be back. Dude, you got to start Jerick McKinnon. It's going to be so worth it. David Johnson could have a down week. I'm probably starting him in the leagues I got him because I'm forced to. And DeAndre Swift. This is an intriguing one. A Lions running back. Well, we don't trust these, right? We don't trust these running backs. But he has been leading the team in snaps both weeks. And we talked about, everyone plays PPR. He is the PPR back on that team, and this is also the game script. The Lions will be playing from behind, even if they're not. It could be a shootout. This is one game script I don't foresee that the Lions are ahead by 2 touchdowns. I don't think that's going to be the case here. They're playing in Arizona. I see Swift getting a ton of dump offs. He's gonna get targets in the end zone. He's gonna get garbage time. There's so many ways for this guy to get you fantasy points. And if you're in PPR, he's a great flex start, great spot start this week if you're in a bind. And man, this is the one week where you really want to try to start him. Okay, let's go on to wide receivers. 2 guys I did want to really talk about here. So keep tabs on Devontae Adams for sure. He's got a hamstring injury. Should be minor, but it may not be. We could be lied to. We don't know. We got to wait and see. Kenny Golladay is expected to play. DJ Moore, start him. Allen Robinson has a good matchup. Hopefully he can start turning things around. And I want to talk about Juju Smith-Schuster didn't practice today. Keelan Cole, he was on both my waiver videos. This guy could be absolute waiver gem, absolute sleeper this year. Maybe a guy that is a must add and you might regret in a week or two, or might regret right now that you didn't pick him up. I looked at all my leagues, and thankfully, I added him in most of my leagues. And you know what? In all those leagues, I think I'm starting him. Thursday Night Football. Why not? Byron Jones is out. Let's go. DJ Chark is out. I'm starting LaVishka in one league, and I'm starting Keelan Cole in 5 leagues. I don't know. I'm going crazy. I'm rooting for the Jaguars, baby. Where the heck did I put? Dang, Hollywood Brown is solo. And Marvin Jones. How much do we trust AJ Green? Not a lot. Definitely not a lot. Hollywood Brown, this is the game where I love him. Absolutely love him. And that glitched. Put him right here. Actually, let's put him right there. Right where the expert consensus has him. Wide receiver 20. Exactly. Right there. Let's move Odell down. Let's move Keenan Allen right here. That's looking pretty good. And let's put Diggs right there. Right where the consensus has them. Okay. That's pretty good. Okay. Just because of this hamstring injury, Julio Jones did not practice today. Okay, Keelan Cole. Where's... I want to talk about... I can't even find these guys. Anthony Miller. Sweetest matchup. Let's put him here. Anthony Miller is the sweetest matchup, but he's only playing in like half the snaps. He's not even playing in that many snaps. He's playing pretty much exclusively at the slot, and he got a goose egg last week. I'm telling people in 10-team leagues to drop him, and it hurts me to say that, but it's like, look, you're not going to start him, and there's plenty of wide receivers. I still have faith in him. I think that this game he could blow up. But Trubisky's spreading the ball a lot, like a lot. And they use their running backs, they use their tight ends, they use their third string, fourth string wide receivers. And, man, he's just not getting enough snaps. He dropped a touchdown pass last week, this week 2. And so I just wanted to just mention that really. Look, I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. But I did want to mention that. You know, he's good. Matchup is great. The game script should be okay. It's just you're not getting enough snaps for some reason. And you're playing exclusively in the slot, and that's why you're not getting the snaps. Now, basically the same exact story with Justin Jefferson right here. Justin Jefferson playing in the slot, not getting enough snaps, but the matchup is absolutely amazing. I think he can take on that slot corner for the Titans, but... yeah, you know, maybe a good DFS dart. Just not, you know, just not someone you trust to start. But oh boy, I'm rooting for him, and maybe the Vikings turn things around a little bit, and maybe he does ball out and then become like, oh, I dropped him. Now I'm gonna pick him back again. Let's go to tight ends. One of the most popular questions I get is Jonnu Smith or Gesicki. I'm going with Gesicki this week. Last week I went with Jonnu. I think I missed out on about 1 fantasy point, which is fine. This week I'm going Gesicki. But these guys are always close. These guys are always really good. And yeah, look at the matchup with the 2 tight ends right here. Mahomes and Lamar, Kelsey and Andrews. Zach Ertz has been kind of pooping, a little poopy. And oh boy, Darren Waller. Okay, so the matchup with Waller is actually amazing. The Patriots are not going to be able to defend him one-on-one, but then you never know what Bill Belichick is going to do. That one time where he stopped Travis Kelce, he had one guy hit him as hard as he could. It was a double team, but like it was more so just jamming him at the line, and then another guy picked him up. And they really jammed him at the line. And so maybe they do that with Waller. I don't know. I think they do. But nonetheless, it's a risky start. It's one you probably have to start. And if they do cover him one-on-one, it's not going to be good for the Patriots. But if they do double cover him and execute the game plan well, which the Patriots usually do, then Waller is in trouble. He's not gonna get any targets. They're gonna basically go to anyone else. So they'll go to Jacobs, they'll go to Ruggs, they'll go to Renfro, might go to Bryan Edwards one time. Yeah, you guys like that hype of Bryan Edwards on Twitter, right? And oh boy, Noah Fant, man, he's pretty much becoming a must start. I like Noah Fant more than Zach Ertz. I think like he's just been amazing. How do you not start him. Let's move him up at least a few spots. This is the real thing, guys. Between Zach Ertz and Goddard and like, this is just a crapshoot. Like, who knows who's gonna be better? Like, seriously. But I'm not trying to rank Zach Ertz too low just because Jalen Reagor's out, Alshon Jeffrey's hurt. Like, they have to throw to somebody, and it's probably gonna be that guy. Okay, and let's move on to defenses. This was a little tough to rank. I'm not gonna lie. This was really tough. But let's say I really like the Colts. I think this is the matchup where you have to start them. So I added the Colts in every single league I could, and I'm starting them in every single league I could. I even dropped the Bears D. Like, I'm going for it. Like, this is the matchup. And I'm also, Blankenship, who we'll talk about. I'm going for it. Steelers D is the one defense where you can start every week blindly pretty much. Even on a tough matchup, you figure they'll get a sack, they'll get a strip fumble, something. They'll get something. This defense is just that good. They get a lot of QB pressure, so I absolutely love the Steelers D, regardless who they're playing. And they're going up against a poor O-line with no DeAndre Hopkins. Bad things could happen. Even if the Texans somehow win this game and put up points, they're probably going to do some bad things and fumble the ball or throw a pick or get sacked a lot in the first half, and then Watson's going to have to make a hero comeback in the second half. Something like that. There's just so many ways the Steelers will give you fantasy points, or it could just be the old-fashioned way. Texans don't score a lot of points, and Steelers put up double-digit fantasy points. Other than that, these top guys, the Browns I like. Niners are missing all their players, but still, they're going up against the Giants with no Saquon, no Sterling Shepard. Like, they can still put up points. It's going to be really hard to rank these, but just so you know, I love the Colts D this week. Colts D actually getting a lot of QB pressures, too. So, it's not just the spot start. And a lot of people dropped the Colts D after week one, like, oh, they didn't do so well. Okay, they're still gelling. They got some pieces. QB pressures is what we like. And getting QB pressures against Sam Darnold with Jamison Crowder unlikely to play. Le'Veon Bell is for sure 100% out. He's still on IR. You got to love the Colts D. The Jets aren't going to score a lot of points, so that's already a check. Matchup, check. Going against the Jets, the worst team in the league. Jets O-line, not that good. Okay, so you're going up against Frank Gore, Sam Darnold, Adam Gase, and absolutely love it. There's just so many ways this defense can score this week. So Colts kicker, my number one kicker to stream. Still can't have him ahead of these two goats here, Tucker and Butker. Love both of them. It could be a Zane Gonzalez week for sure going against the Lions. There's going to be so many opportunities for the Cardinals to score, kick field goals, kick extra points, so on and so forth. And that's pretty much it. If you guys want to check out my rankings, just go on over to fantasycouch.com. It's the written rankings. You get to see this. Also, I update. I'm going to update them at least 3 times a week. Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm always updating this. So you guys can go check that out. Updated, written form. Make sure you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel. Also, right after Thursday Night Football, we go live on our second YouTube channel, Fantasy Couch Podcast. I read every single YouTube comment, guys. So if you got a fantasy question or just want to say what's up, just leave a YouTube comment, smash the like button, and I'll catch you on the next one.